Hello and welcome back to another Webinar Wednesday powered by Marketing 360. It is Seth Burney here of Marketing 360, and today we have some very exciting guests with us. We're going to be talking about SEO Focus, the dynamic versus static data. So very excited to get into that. Today we have Bobby Shell joining us from Marketing 360. How are you doing, Bobby?
Great, Seth. Thank you.
Great. And as always, the number one man of Marketing 360, JB Kellogg.
Hey, guys. Good to be here.
Perfect. So I am just checking right now, guys. It looks like our YouTube stream is healthy. Waiting on the Facebook live stream, however. So I do not see that live. If you are with us live on YouTube, thank you very much for joining us. We're excited to get into this content today. We're going to have a lot of information that we're going to be going over. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section. We are going to be going through those comments during the live presentation as well as after the live presentation. So please, if you're watching this after the live broadcast, still leave a comment. We will get back to you. So Bobby, we're going to kind of jump right into this, give these people at home, small business owners, kind of a high education, rough breakdown, right, of what is SEO today.
Yeah. So with SEO, what that is and how we utilize it, your website is a living, breathing salesperson, and it's only going to be as educated as you make it. So the way that's how we like to think of SEO. And on your website, what we want to do is fill that with powerful content that's going to not only educate people early in the funnel when they're doing research, but also help them close the deal if they are ready to move forward with utilizing your product or service. So that's really the goal of SEO, and how you put that on your site and take care of that is going to be doing research on keywords and understanding the type of language that your customer is using on the internet, and then putting that into content on your website.
Perfect. And then also a couple ideas and suggestions for people in regards to the SEO itself. So SEO does stand for search engine optimization. If you want to really think about it, it's free real estate right there on the first page of major search engines like Google, Bing, those places that people go to get their questions answered quick and easy for them. And also, JB, SEO has really proved to be a really strong marketing medium to show some of the greatest ROIs of any marketing campaigns. Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely, because it's not a pay-per-click model. So you can have, 1 million people click on your organic listings on Google, let's say, and that's not going to cost you anything, but you're going to get that traffic, get the sales. So the return on investment's huge. It's a slower mover. So you got to put that work into building the content, optimizing your website. And initially, you're not going to rank for a lot of the keywords that you'd like to rank for. But if you just keep working at it, keep optimizing your site in an intelligent way, which we're going to talk about today, you'll become visible for more and more of those search terms that your potential customers are searching every day. And when your potential customers are searching, if you're not there and your competitors are, you're losing market share. So it's important for you to rank on the first page of Google and or any other search engine like Bing for those popular search terms that your potential customers are searching for every day. But what are those terms? So we're going to talk today about how you can identify that, looking at the data within your actual website, and how you can make educated decisions on how to optimize your site on an ongoing basis to become visible for more and more of those terms. Every page one that you rank for on Google for every different search term, you can think of it like a different employee working for your company, standing out on the most popular, busy streets in America, trying to sell your product or your service. If you're ranking on those busy streets, you're going to get visibility and get those sales. And you have to have salespeople on the streets to do that. Well, today it's the digital world, and those streets of America are ranking high on Google for those popular search terms. So how do you get people there? It's getting your pages there. And how do you optimize your pages to get there? That's what we're going to talk about today.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that information, JB. As well as we have a couple SEO statistics here from other sources. One saying search is the number one driver of traffic to content sites, beating social media by over 300%. That was from Iron Paper. And then again, another statistic, 18% of local searches done on mobile devices lead to a sale within a day. And again, we're going to get into the importance of that SEO strategy, both in regards to mobile devices as well as your desktop searches. But also, there's been a little bit of contention here, I would say, Bobby, right? Versus old SEO strategies and kind of the new dynamic SEO strategies that we're going to get into. Past SEO strategies really has been kind of the technique of you just put as much content and keywords that you want to rank for over and over and over in the text, right? But Google kind of got smart. They changed their algorithms because people weren't spending a lot of time on those pages, and those pages started to drop. So can you give us a little idea of what is kind of that new dynamic strategy versus that old strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're about to dig really deep into that in terms of identifying keywords and then identifying top pages to create. Like you said, back in the day, they would stuff even invisible keywords on pages, and that would get you ranking on page one. Google quickly identified the fallacy and the wrong approach people were taking, how they were almost spamming the web and then not really helping the end user. So they quickly made that stop. And now you will be directly penalized for that, like buying backlinks, stuffing your site with content, not really being value adding for your customer. You're not helping them. So today, what we're really here to focus on is how to approach creating that content and educating your customer all the way to helping them get exactly what they need. So we're eager to speak on that, and we'll touch on these next few slides exactly what we're going to run through to achieve that and help you do that.
Great. And I think one of the first questions a lot of people is going to say is, who is this SEO strategy for?
This strategy is not only for a brand new business. Like if you're a brand new business and you're trying to understand what keywords do I need to target? How do I need to create pages? We're going to even go in depth for people who have an established business. Maybe you've had a site live for 2 years. You're not within the first 6 months or year of working on your website and your optimization. So this is going to be very valuable content for new businesses and veteran businesses alike.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. And then continuing on along as I get this presentation, and real quick, I do want to let you guys know our YouTube is our only live factor right now. Facebook is having a little bit of a difficulty, but if you are on YouTube, thank you very much for joining us. We're excited to have you, as well as in the comment section, there is a link for you to follow this presentation along. So if you ever have questions or want to just dive a little deeper into the content, please take a look at that. Now, Bobby, the process, I know there's a lot that goes into it. You've kind of been speaking about that. Let's start jumping in.
Yeah. So on our slide here, we've got a few points we want to touch on for the early business, doing that initial optimization. One of the things we want to do is keyword research, understanding what are people searching? What are those long-term keywords that are short tail, maybe 1 or 2 words within that search query that people are typing in, but then also longer tail terms, which may have 3, 4, or more words within that search query. And then taking that information, optimizing your site, starting with title tags and meta descriptions, which is all the text you see on page 1, but putting that on your site. And then also working on building new pages with that, as well as a blog architecture so that you have a hierarchy on your site within your sitemap that the robot reads that Google has. So this bot goes through your site, they look at your sitemap, they look at the content you create, and they want to make sure there's actually a structure and a game plan and strategy for that. And then once we have that laid out, then we get deep into the content optimization and next analyzing this foundation and making decisions on what to create moving forward. So that kind of covers that first bullet here we have on the screen share. Next, this outdated approach we're talking about, using static data. That would just be literally, just writing content, taking keywords, and just kind of spamming your site for that. There's actually a deeper understanding Google's algorithms have in terms of the semantics, the way people speak maybe on their first search versus when they're 4 or 5 searches deep, where you get very detailed into what people want. And then lastly, the most effective approach, that's exactly what we want you to walk away with here today, is a good understanding of how you can not only approach the initial optimization and best practices there, but how to really work on your site once you're established. And I think that's really where we're going to provide the most value today. You're going to get some great foundational information, but what we really want to touch on is how you can take data that you currently have and push yourself further up. Because I just actually got off the phone with a guy before this conference here we're having, and we were talking about how do we push past page 3? How do we push to page 2 and 1 to knock down the guys that are at the top of Google? So that's what we're excited to explain here.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that detailed background. JB, would you have anything to add in regards to just kind of before we really dive into the top ranked keywords and how to get in, but any quick points there talking about the static data and how to maybe just quickly optimize it so you're looking more on the dynamic side?
Yeah, absolutely. I would just say that some of these strategies are going to be a little bit more advanced. It's going to be for a site that's been up live for a while and has data to look at and make educated decisions off of that. And so if you're watching this webinar and you just want to know how to build a good foundation from the get-go, how to build your site in the right way out of the gate so that it has the best chances at ranking high in the future, check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/marketing360, and click on playlists. We have some playlists in there specifically for content marketing and SEO marketing tips and strategies that walk you through exactly how you can do some of those things so that you can optimize your website from the beginning. Now, what we want to talk about today is after you've done that, you did that initial optimization based on that static data, that initial keyword research. You found all these keywords and you decided you're going to try to optimize your site for those and build pages for those and blog about those terms. And you've been trying to provide value for those terms. And so now you've been doing that for a while. You shouldn't keep doing that until the end of time. What you need to do now is you need to take a look at the data, because you're going to be finding that you're actually starting to rank for a lot of terms that you didn't even think about. And you're maybe right on the tip of moving to page one and you don't even know it. But if you're looking at the data, you're going to see these opportunities. This is low-hanging fruit. Now you just make a few tweaks to your website. You build maybe additional pages with some valuable content there, and boom, you're on page one. Now you're on that busy street corner and you're getting deals. And so how do you do that? You got to constantly look at the data. And that's why we talk about dynamic optimization versus static. You need to do the static optimization initially because that's all the data that you have, is that a research that you've done. But once you've done that research and you're getting the traffic, you can look at real dynamic data and make educated decisions as you move forward. So let's take a look and talk about how you can do that.
Perfect. Bobby, up to you. Top ranking keywords. How do we identify these priority keywords?
Great. So initially, like we touched on, once you do your keyword research, you have a great idea of what you need to optimize for. So step one, optimizing your current pages for that, building new pages, building a blog architecture, having a blog strategy. So you've got that foundation. JB mentioned you can get those tips on YouTube, so check that out. So what we're going to talk about now is how to take that to the next level. So what Seth will open up here in a moment, and this screenshot is actual live data from Marketing 360. And what we do is we utilize Google's tools to bring all of this data in one place and put it in a way that's easy to interpret. So here on the left-hand side of this box we have pulled up with the big green box we've highlighted here, these are the top pages for the keyword we have highlighted just to the left. So this box right here, Seth is hovered over, this is a primary keyword for us, and we want to rank higher on this term. So what we've done is we've created a way to understand whenever someone searches this key term, what pages on our website are now triggered. And as you can see here, we have more than one page that this keyword triggers. So that gives us a lot of insight into what pages do we need to focus on and optimize for that key term. So that's one of the biggest things you can do is whenever you have a keyword search, do you as a business owner know what pages are being triggered? Once you know that, you know how to better optimize those pages and constantly improve them. So 2 quick tips on that. Number one, once you're ranking, if you can refresh those pages and update them, say monthly or quarterly, you're going to have better results than, say, leaving a page there for 2 years and not touching it. Google wants to see us keep that fresh. So that's why a tactic like this is key. Next, beyond that, what you can also do, which this is something our team does all the time for our partners and our clients, is once we've identified those top pages, building new pages on your site that showcase that content and then backlink to those. And what's good about that is now you're creating new pages on your site and backlinking to those top pages to help push those up on the search engine. So not only are you creating new content for your top ranking keywords, but you're also backlinking that content to your current content that's already ranking, right? And now pushing that higher. So that's a key thing you want to identify. And you can do that directly in Marketing 360 with one of our quick reports as shown in that screenshot. So that's incredibly powerful. And like JB said, we don't want to take static data. We want to take dynamic data. So just to give a real life example, sometimes we may be on a phone with a client and they say, hey, my competitor is ranking for this term. And then we look at the report of your live site right now and we see you're not even ranking for that key term. So now we're pouring energy and effort into something you're not even ranking for, when in reality, there are quality terms your site's currently ranking for that we can take advantage of, that low-hanging fruit JB mentioned. So it's key to understand where you're ranking and where you have ability to capitalize and take advantage of. So that's really the big takeaway from this example we spoke on here.
Great information there. And I want to touch on your tip number one that you kind of gave of the 2 tips. Give me a little bit of understanding, because a lot of these small business owners are going to hear, hey, I've heard that if I have a content or I have content on a page, I need to keep that the same, right? I shouldn't be taking it down or changing it. And you use the word refresh, right? Can you give us a couple ideas of how do you actually refresh one of those URLs that you're trying to get ranked organically?
Yeah. So say you build an initial page and there's maybe 150 words of content on there and you start ranking, say you're in position 7, you might be getting a couple clicks a month. You have the opportunity to push up to say position 1, 2, 3, or 4. So if you have 150 words on a page and it's brief, you can actually add more to that by identifying what is making this page trigger, how can I be more informative on that subject matter, and then add that content. So refreshing that page and being more thorough in the way you're explaining things, or being more concise even. Nowadays, people have a shorter attention span in some instances. So being more concise and being more deliberate in the message you're giving, those would be key things. And it's actually a part of the algorithm where Google wants to see content is staying refreshed. I think a good example anyone can relate to is Wikipedia. Wikipedia ranks highly because they are constantly allowing people to update their content. And I mean, it would be wonderful if we had 1 million people working for us the way Wikipedia does, right? Then everyone's page would be ranking high. But the big thing and takeaway here is the more you can keep your page up to date and refresh for those keywords, the less likely a competitor will come in and take that position away from you.
Mm-hmm. And that kind of leads us into our next topic here, is those top ranking pages and how do you kind of analyze those pages? So Bobby, I'd love for you to continue us through this.
Yeah, so with the top ranking page analysis, it's almost the same as the keyword analysis. So if you can look at the keyword that people are searching and know what pages of yours are ranking, we want to do the same thing for the page side. There are reports that we have within Marketing 360 that will actually showcase what your top ranking pages are. So it's good to know that, because you want to see what pages are actually creating that relationship and that initial communication with your prospects. So once you know what pages are ranking, you can then see within Marketing 360 what keywords are triggering that pages. So the exact inverse of the keyword example we just ran through. And with that, we want to take the exact same approach, identifying how can we better optimize these pages? How can we, not even on just a keyword front, which we've touched on. A lot of SEO ranking has to do with user experience. Do people stay on your page? Do they engage deeper into your site with more pages? So there's even a design component to this that we want to, touch on and explain. But with this screenshot we have illustrated here on the far left, we have the box that's in dark gray. This is the page example we're touching on. So for this one, just to the right of that, we have pulled up these keyword ranking details within this big black box showcase. So for this in particular page, we can see a wide variety of keywords that are ranking. And, different than the keyword we looked at, we saw one keyword led to 4 pages. In this instance, we see one page has the opportunity to trigger, it looks like, almost 120 different keywords. Based on this report, we can see there's multiple pages of keywords that are actually opening this. So this is a really good example of not just being tied down and hell-bent on a specific keyword that, I may be married to or you may be married to. There's obviously a lot of terms that are important and words that your customers are searching. So knowing those specific ones and working on those just directly is the key thing. So there's a huge takeaway from understanding those keywords.
And then once you have all of kind of those keywords figured out there, Bobby, and thank you very much for walking us through that and kind of showing that example there of the screenshot of all the different types of keywords that one website might want to rank for. How do you find ways to expand upon that content, right? Or how do you know which keywords you actually should start building new pages for and trying to expand that on?
Yeah. So We might be giving away a little too much information here as far as the key stuff we do for you guys, but we'll shed a little bit of light on this. So you saw that extensive list of keywords we had there. There's a lot of content you can create based on those keywords people are searching. Even though there's one thing they're looking for, that very specific size of product for that tire, there's 120 ways people are typing it in, right? So what you want to do is you want to create new pages tailored for those keywords and then link them back to the main pages. Build this link profile within your site, but also create a lot of content. And we know that can be a big pain point. You know, trying to write content all day is a full-time job. So that's why we have dedicated people here to take care of that. But that is the level of detail you really need to have in 2018 and moving forward to be successful. You have to understand on that granular level, where are people searching, what's important to my customer, and then creating content that's very specific to that need. The word semantics we used earlier, and JB was talking about low-hanging fruit. There's always new words showing up. So you may be optimizing for one term in particular, but then as you move forward and create more content, you're now seeing 5, 10, 20 new keywords that you never even thought were possible that show up. Those are the keywords you want to capitalize on and take advantage of with your content.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head there, Bobby. We are giving a lot of secrets away here, but we understand that it takes a lot to get all of this in place and do it correctly, as kind of Bobby is explaining there. So if you have any questions, have any need of help or assistance, just want us to do a quick audit, please give us a call, Marketing 360. We'd love to help you out and jump into it. And one thing, JB, I know we've talked a lot on other webinars, is kind of that last little topic there, optimize the page with a video. Can you walk us through a little bit of how you might use a video for the benefit of SEO?
Well, I think that just goes back to adding value, right? You don't want to just create pages for keywords for the sake of creating pages for keywords. You want to actually create valuable content. So your goal should be that page should be the most valuable page in the world if somebody landed on it for that search term. And you have information there and you're providing value. And part of that might be through video, right? You might have a video talking about that particular tire, like Bobby had mentioned. What are the benefits of that tire? What are the things to think about for that tire? How do we fully educate you about that tire on that landing page for that particular search term? So when they search that search term and land on that page, they literally don't even need to go anywhere else. All the information's there. So you want to provide videos, nice imagery, make it a good user experience, make sure the page loads quickly, make sure it looks good on mobile. These are the design aspects that are going to play a part into your ranking. And then now they're ready to make a purchase because you have so much value there. They're going to click and that's going to link back to that original product page and they're going to be able to purchase. Or maybe you're a service-based business. Maybe they click it to generate a lead. They submit a form, a free quote request, whatever it might be. You know, have the call to action on the landing page and the end goal, an easy way for the user to achieve that goal so that you get the results that you're looking for. But before all that, you need to provide value for those different search terms. That's the key. But one thing I thought would be helpful, Seth, is actually just to do a quick, I can share my screen here and actually just walk through Marketing 360 and actually show how you can see some of this dynamic data and how you can make some of these decisions in real time, if that would make sense.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan to me. Right there, just hover over your image. You should see a little share screen button and you'll take control.
Okay, let's give this a shot here. All right, I think I have my screen selected there if you want to blow that up so people can see it.
Coming at you.
There we go. So this is a screenshot of Marketing 360. And what I did was just pulled up our own site here, marketing360.com. We use Marketing 360 for ourselves too. So we always say we eat our own dog food, and it's absolutely true. And so let's take a look at this here. Within Marketing 360, you have this keyword ranking tracker report here. And you can see, look at the growth here. You know, we had, this is just back here in October, 8,200 keywords we were ranking for. And then you move fast forward to today, over 11,000 keywords and actually 13,000 keywords in the last 30 days. So there's always continual growth. I can tell you right now, I did not do keyword research and find 13,000 static keywords. I'd still be doing that today and my site would not be live yet. So we did keyword research and found maybe a couple hundred keywords we wanted to rank for, and we built our site and optimized it for those. And then, like Bobby said there, you find these little nuggets along the way, and so over time, we're now ranking for over 13,000 keywords in the last 30 days there. And then if you look at this graph here, it's kind of color coded. You can see here the gray is right here. That's pages, basically 5 and beyond. So top 50 ranking. And then the dark green here, that's the best. That's on page 1. So that's position 1 to 10. You can see here that's getting a little taller every month there. So what's happening is it's starting off in the gray and it's kind of filtering down here to the yellow, which is position 21 to 50, and eventually working its way down to page 1 to 10. So how is that happening? Well, if you scroll down here inside Marketing 360, you can see all the keywords that you're ranking for. And this is kind of cool because you can see your average ranking right here. You can even click on to build a graph to see that ranking over time. But really what I wanted to highlight is this organic impressions. This is eyeballs. So when you look at all the keywords here, for our brand name, we're getting a lot of visibility. But if I come down here for internet marketing, that's obviously a very broad term. And we're getting 13,000 eyeballs a month on our brand for that term because we have ranking and visibility there. But is it good? Is the ranking not good? What does that look like? Well, over here, you can click on page rankings to see which pages are actually ranking for that term. So if I click this details button here, I can see there's 3 pages on my website that are ranking for that particular term. And you can see here, none of them are ranking that well, really. This first one here is getting most all of the impressions. That's ranking position 65. So that's page 6, basically. And can you just imagine the amount of eyeballs I would have if I was on page 1? I'm getting 13,000 people are actually taking the time to go to page 6 to see me here. If I was on page 1, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of eyeballs every month. And you can just imagine how many sales that would be. So what do I need to do to get to page 1? Well, I need to optimize this page better for that term. So I would want to basically, if I click on this, it'll open up that page. But really what I would want to do is optimize my title tag. You see that keyword is not really in the front part of the title tag, so that should be added. I could add that to an H1 heading and into my content here on the page. So now I can make educated decisions based on this data, which I'm just looking at this in real time, guys. So I'm thinking to myself, why the heck haven't I done this? But we need to optimize our site for that keyword. There's a huge opportunity there. But you know what? There's 18,000 keywords here that are potential opportunities. And every one of these, like CRM software here, we're getting 10,000 eyeballs. So if I click here to see which pages are ranking for that term, I'll probably see that there's 1 or more. And sure enough, there's 2 pages ranking. But look at this. This is really the page that's getting all the eyeballs. That's ranking 57. So if I add additional content to that page, more videos about CRM software to that page, and just add more value to that page about this term, CRM software. So when somebody searches CRM software on Google and lands on that page, it's like, holy cow, this is the holy grail of this term, CRM software. I'm going to eventually get to page 1. And so the next step here is this is looking at the keyword level. You can also come over here to top organic pages like Bobby had just talked about. And you can scroll down here and you can look at all of the different pages that your site's ranking for. And so over here, you have organic impressions, so it's automatically sorted by that. The home page is getting most of the eyeballs. This next page here is getting the second most eyeballs. So if I look at this page here, I might want to, what is this page actually ranking for? Well, if I click over here on details, I'll see that. So if I click that, let's see what this looks like here. So this page, this one page is ranking for 747 keywords. And now when I look here at the organic impressions, I can see that the eyeballs are actually distributed across a lot of different keywords. It's not just one keyword that's driving all of the visibility here. It's a lot of keywords. And so this first one here, barbershop ideas, that's a keyword that this page is ranking for. I can see I'm ranking in position 8. Not bad. I'm on page 1, but I'm at the bottom. So if I would like a lot of leads from that, if my average ROI for that type of customer is strong, I might want to get to position number 1, right? So that would just tell me I need to build some additional content into that page that's adding additional value about barbershop ideas. And so that would be a value add there. I can also see here barbershop software, that's ranking terrible. That might be a good idea. If I want to rank for that, then I might want to build a separate page just for that. So marketing360.com/barber software would be the URL. The title tag would be barber software. And then that page would be full of just great valuable content about that term, barber software. And so by looking at this, I can really fine tune and pinpoint these opportunities. Here's one here, barber tips. That's position 11. That's one position away from page 1. People say you can hide the dead body on page two, and that's just because the amount of traffic you get on page 1 compared to page 2 is significant. And so here you can see it wouldn't take a lot of effort to get to page 1. All I would need to do is go into that page and add maybe 10 tips for barbers, 10 tips for barbers about how they can get more sales. And boom, I might be on page 1 tomorrow. And now I'm getting more leads. And so by looking at the data, this allows for that. And then it comes to just the content creation, creating the content, and you need skill for that. And you need to provide value there. That's the most important thing. I touched on our YouTube channel, and I actually just pulled up this video while I was kind of waiting here. Rank high on Google with SEO monster pages. And we did a video on that on our YouTube channel. So check that out. And it kind of walks through this infographic. But this infographic here kind of breaks down everything we've talked about to where this would be the landing page on your website. You're really optimizing your site for that main keyword. Then you're building additional pages of content for supporting keywords, which would be the root system here, which is linking back to the main page, like Bobby talked about with the tire example there. And then it talks about how you just constantly water the site with new content and fresh ideas and added value. And if you do those things, Google shines light on your page and your page grows to a high ranking. And if you do black hat SEO tactics where you're just adding content for the sake of adding content, there's no value to it, or you're just pillow fluffing it. If your page doesn't look good, if it loads slow, a cloud comes over Google and your page falls. And so you want Google to shine light on your page. And to do that, you need to provide true value for those terms. And to understand which terms to provide value for, you have to look at the dynamic data, which we talked about today. So hopefully that helps tie everything together for you, give you some ideas about how you can take your business to the next level and rank higher for some of these low-hanging fruit keywords that can drive you a lot of business.
Wow, lots of great content. Thank you very much, JB. Bobby, it was a pleasure having you as well on our webinar today. For everyone at home on YouTube, please, if you have any questions, leave a comment down in the comment section. Please like this video, as well as don't forget to hit that little bell button, subscribe to our channel. You will be notified anytime we post new videos or these Webinar Wednesday videos come out. So again, thank you very much for your time today. We know your time is valuable, and we appreciate you spending it with us. Everybody, I hope you have a great day. And until next time, happy marketing.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.